get a motion to approve the agenda? Motion and a move. Any discussion? All those in favor? Say aye. Opposed? All good. We're going to start off with, this is the time that we have, we got, it looks like 20 different groups that are going to come up here and present their request. And we'll just go down the line, and as I call you up, if you don't mind, come up to the front, and if you hear, I know we've got a couple of letters, but if you hear, to present to the jury. So we'll start off with Lincoln Total Community Action. Anyone here? Welcome.
Thank you. Do I have to take the hot seat or can I?
You good. You good right there. You feel comfortable.
Let me just say good evening and thank you all for giving us this opportunity to come before you. We appreciate the partnership and the generosity of this fine group in past years. And we'd like to talk to you a little bit about keeping up with keeping up, you know. We were blessed to get, after our building burned, to be able to get another building thanks to the Lincoln Parish School Board. But inherent in that building is a huge upkeep. And the grounds are much larger to maintain, which is more costly. This week alone, we found out that our industrial hot water heater is on the blink, and we need to replace it. Now, that doesn't sound like much when you say a hot water heater, right? But this is an industrial hot water heater, and we're talking about $11,000. And we are prepared for some maintenance, but when you get into huge bills like hot water heaters, air conditioners, so forth and so on, the budget takes a real hit. These are the kind of outlays you cannot plan for. You hope you can escape it, but quite often they come back and bite you. So we're asking for, Ms. Smith, $6,000. We came before you last year, and you were kind enough to give us $1,500. But $1,500. So we're hoping that this time you will be able to really help us through. I know, looking out back behind me, there are a number of groups who all feel that their endeavor is as important as mine. But remember, it's not for me, it's not for Ms. Coulter Smith, it's for the children of Lincoln Parish. Questions?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
How many children do you serve?
We have a funded enrollment of 340.
Thank you.
Nothing else. Thank you for
All
listening.
right. Thank you very much. Next up, Bayou Lake Dorbon Commission. Anybody here from?
And I did not hear from them. They're one that I didn't get a response from.
Okay.
Chris, I believe, if I'm correct, the $1,800 that we grant them each year is simply used to maintain the electricity at the 2 boat ramps that are located within Lincoln Parish.
Okay. All right, next up, Florida Groundwater Commission. Welcome.
Thank you. Good evening. Good evening. I'll be brief. My name is Lindsay Gowdy. I'm the Executive Director for the Sparta Groundwater Commission. And I'd like to first start off by thanking you all for your historical support. Lincoln Parish, along with our entire region, has always served as an advocate for the Sparta Groundwater Commission, which works on behalf of all of the parishes, including Lincoln Parish, to ensure that our primary water supply, which is the Sparta Aquifer, is maintained for generations to come. vital to our region, and particularly vital to this parish as we do not have an alternate supply. The source of the donation, the contribution that y'all provide annually, helps us do education events, outreach. We've been able to do a lot of great things over the last decade, I guess, that we've been focusing on education. Over the last year, though, we were successful in being able to obtain one grant from the Economic Development Administration. There will be more details coming out, but y'all were so great at supporting us over 2020 and 2019 that we were able to get that grant. That was a regional effort. And so in the coming 3 years from that grant, we should be able to update our data and be able to develop data tools that this parish and other parishes can use to help bring in more industry to ensure that they have water for industry that's coming in for years to come. And y'all's contribution goes directly and has aided directly in being able to make those things happen. We're grateful. I believe there is a letter there. We are asking for the same $2,500 that y'all supplied and supported us with for the last few years. Any questions that y'all have, I'd be happy to answer at this time. But we again extend our appreciation for all that Lincoln Parish has done in supporting us, support y'all. Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Department of Veteran Affairs. Anybody here?
No, that was the one letter that was returned to me, unclaimed from the post office box. We typically do a $5,000, and I believe this is an in-kind from their office space rental that we give them at the complex one.
Strictly in kind, no.
I believe it's in-kind, yes.
I mean, is that office, is it anyone in that office right now?
They man that office one day a week, and I have to be honest with you, I don't know if they're open now or not. I've been up there several times, but I don't know that I've ever been up there on a Wednesday.
Is that what the museum is?
No, it's in the complex building.
Yeah.
Temple Badge.
So, if it's no one serving, is it mandated that we give them, if it's no one in the office?
No, I don't. I can check on that, I guess. You know, otherwise it'd just be an empty office. So
Yeah, we don't give them money.
yeah, we don't give them any money. We just give them the space. So.
Where did the veterans go for that service?
Well, that's a good question. I can check on that. I think there may be a number posted that they can call for services, but I can check on that report back to you next time.
Thank you. Council on Aging.
Good afternoon. My name is Sharon Wright. I'm with Lincoln Council on Aging. We provide services for persons aged 60 and older, and we would like to thank the Lincoln Parish Police Jury for assisting us in the past years. Some of the services that we provide are transportation. We're best known for the Meals on Wheels program. We have senior centers in Bebop and in Ruston. We provide activities there. Currently, our office is closed due to COVID-19, and when I say it's closed for services, but the office is open to answer telephone and answer questions. We have been mandated by state that all the clients that were coming to our senior center, we have to deliver their meals to them. So our calls for gasoline prices have gone up, and that is part of things that we are asking you to help assist us in paying for with the funds that you provide for us. Questions?
I have a question. Approximately how many people do you all serve?
Ma'am,
Approximately, excuse me, how many people do you all provide services for?
okay, before the virus started, we served 147 home delivered meals and 48 congregate meals where they come to our sites. Since since the virus state has said that anyone 60 and older, regardless of what, they don't have to meet our qualifications, we are currently serving 202 people a day now.
Outstanding.
Is that 5 days a week, 7?
Monday through Friday.
Right.
But we only deliver meals on Monday. We deliver 7 frozen meals on Monday.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
IT department?
Good evening. I'll be speaking on item number 6 and 7, the IT and GIS services as well. And first, I'd like to thank the police jury for your historical, financial, and political support of the Lincoln Parish GIS district. As you know, we're involved in many important activities, including maintaining and managing the database of geographic information for Lincoln Parish. We're also involved in the 911 address administration. We assign all addresses parish-wide. We're involved in the administration of the unincorporated area building permits for Lincoln Parish. We do approximately 300 to 400 building permits yearly. We're also providing IT services to nearly a dozen agencies in Lincoln and also in parishes. Now, specifically, during the last year, projects that we have undertaken for the police jury as far as GIS goes, we've maintained the precinct boundaries as far as drawing the boundaries and writing the descriptions for all the voting precincts, especially where it's concerned prospective precinct ordinance. We've also worked with Maurice here to maintain all of the geographic data of the Lincoln Parish Sewer District. We've undertaken to map all of the dumpster sites as well as the number of canisters at each site, and we've also mapped the garbage truck routes. And all of this geographic information helps in the decision-making process. For example, where to construct a new mega site. Geographic data is very important for making informed decisions. We've also worked with James Ramsor very recently in parish park mapping. I've personally been out hiking through dry creek beds and whatnot with GPS units, mapping the park for some planned new bike trails for the parish park. And we also had some plans for some new parish park maps as well. So we do a lot for Lincoln Parish. We benefit a whole lot of different agencies. We really appreciate the police jury support, and we'd like to request the current level of funding, the same as last year. That's the $25,000 for GIS and $20,000 for IT services. And we really would appreciate your continued support of the Lincoln Parish GIS district. Does anybody have any questions?
Mr. Frank, can I ask a question? What other entities participate in the GIS?
So in GIS, there's 8 member agencies. There's, let's see if I can name them all, police jury, school board, fire district, communications district, the clerk of court, assessor's office,
Fire department.
Lincoln Parish Fire Protection District.
Sheriff.
Sheriff, thank you. And then with IT, I believe there's 11, the same ones, minus the school board in the city of Ruston, but we add the district attorney's office, we add the judge's office, detention center, and I believe that covers it. Also for GIS, City of Ruston was one I think I'll be able to mention, but City of Ruston and the school board have their own IT, so they're not in IT, so that's kind of confusing.
Each one of the entities with GIS, they contribute the same $25,000, am I correct?
It's roughly the same. There's a couple of agencies that contribute $20,000, and the rest contribute $25,000. And then with the IT, most of the agencies do contribute $20,000. There's a few that contribute less. It's based on the number of machines, computers, and users. So,
Thank you.
yes, ma'am.
Will these two be involved, excuse me, when, next year when we do those district lines?
I would think so, yes ma'am. We should, at the very least, provide data for the redistricting process. I believe there's a possibility of contracting with a demographer, but again, we would be very instrumental in providing the data to that demographer if that's the direction that you all choose to go. But as far as making the maps and all, we would certainly be involved.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, appreciate you. All right, we'll go on to juvenile assistance program.
No request this year.
All right. All right, third district, or district court.
Good evening. First of all, I'd like to thank the police jury for y'all's continued cooperation with the sheriff's department to provide security at the courthouse. It's been a welcome addition. Was that, we started last year, I believe?
Yes.
And that's a very welcome. I would hopefully that at some point we could provide a little better security at the annex than we do right now. But since I'm the only one that has an office there, I'm comfortable. But there could come a time when we might need to revisit that as well. And of course, it's a challenge when you have the courthouse set up the way it is anyhow. But we do appreciate your efforts with the sheriff to ensure that the main courthouse has constant security as well. Our letter indicates that we'd like to maintain the current levels for our two court reporters, and we've also put a request in that if there's a cost of living increase for the other parish employees, that two court reporters be included in that as well as any other benefits. And the other thing that I'll mention, I'm not aware of any immediate needs right now, and Tracy might, or Jerry might. Of course, our court reporting equipment and sound equipment in the courtrooms is always subject to having problems, and of course we appreciate what y'all can do to help maintain that and hopefully keep that current and as modern as possible. It is a pretty big expense, but we can't have court if we can't record and transcribe the testimony and evidence put in that comes up in trials and other things. So that's an essential part of our of what we do in the courtroom. And so there may be future needs that come up that we know they're going to happen, we just don't know when they're going to happen. So we appreciate your help in that. And are there any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. LSU Cooperative Extension Service.
Good evening, y'all. I'm honored to be here. I'm glad you let me come in. My name is Jerry Stockton. For those of you I have not had a chance to meet yet, I do want to also give my appreciation and thanks for what the police jury has done for the LSU Ag Center for so many years. The LSU Ag Center runs three main programs here in Lincoln Parish. We all know the 4-H club programs. We're the ones that run the 4-H club program. We're recognized on a national level for what we do in 4-H here. We've got one of the most active shooting education programs in the state that has sent several kids to nationals for recognition as what they call ambassadors, that they can come back and teach an appreciation to the environment, appreciation for hunting, an appreciation for safe shooting in that sport, which is very important in this time and day. Along with many other 4-H activities. That's the one that we know mostly. We also conduct agricultural educational programs. I do that mostly with horticulture programs that we have been asked to conduct in the parish. I've got a cadre of volunteers called Master Gardeners that we train on an annual basis. Those people go out after several hours of training, and they get an audience, and they start teaching folks out there. With the onset of the coronavirus, COVID-19, gardening numbers skyrocketed, not just in Lincoln Parish, but all over the state and all over the country. So our phones started ringing more and more, and people started asking more and more questions about some of the stuff we've done for years that they just need a little help getting started with. Then we also have a lady that does some work with some parenting education programs for some of the people that are encouraged to come in and need some of the SNAP Ed programming and education for their young children and nutrition programs with that. And what I sent in, we're requesting the same amount that we requested last year. We appreciate that support. We need that support to continue. Y'all have been a partner for a long time, and I'd be glad to answer any questions that y'all have.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gary.
Lincoln Parish Clerk of Court.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Linda Cook, Lincoln Parish Clerk of Court. I know everybody. I just want to take this opportunity every year, because I don't get to see you as a group, to thank you, especially during this unusual time for us all with the pandemic, Hurricane Laura. I thank you for assisting your clerk of court with our office needs. And I can't leave without saying this as well. The security at the front of the courthouse is such a benefit. Those security guards are personable and very professional to everybody, incoming, outgoing, of Lincoln Parish. And it speaks volumes for Lincoln Parish Sheriff's Office, the Lincoln Parish Police Jury, and I thank you for that. And having said all that, your Lincoln Parish Clerk of Court does not have any budget requests for 2021. Thank you.
Register of voters.
Hello, I'm Sharon Parnell, and I'm the registrar of voters for Lincoln Parish. I'm submitting a budget request for 2021 that includes a request for confidential assistant funding. The state pays a portion, well, the parish would pay a portion of that, and the state pays a portion, but they would handle any increases once the letter of commitment is given or approved. What will happen if you approve the letter of commitment, it will be sent to the state for consideration for funding in the state budget. That would take place in 2021. There's a definite need for this. Diana, the former registrar, had requested over the years for confidential. We've always had a two-person office. This year, we have seen changes like we've never seen before, especially in voting and voting procedures. You may have seen in my letter where emergency rules have caused changes in that, and honestly, in July, when the Secretary of State did the mailing to the 65 and older, we had such a huge response that it was because of the early voting commissioners that we had staffed for early voting that we were able to meet that demand. It was because of them. Our office hours during early voting, of course we're doing early voting, and then after the 6 o'clock ends, we audit, and then we have to process our daily work. Leads into numerous overtime hours, and this is usually in a busy election year. I know next year we're hoping for a breathing time, but we've already had an election scheduled for March. So I'm not really sure what next year will bring. We're hoping that there's usually 1 year that we can work, or say that our hours are 8 to 4:30. We put in a lot of hours. It's a definite need. We have 2 universities. There are several parishes that do not have universities that have at least 3 people in their office, full-time positions. With voter drives, this year has been different because the campus has been closed, but we still have a lot of online work and electronic work that comes through. That's on a daily basis. But one of the things too that I feel like really supports the request is training, having a full-time person who is trained. We do use part-time people, but most of them are retired and they come in occasionally, and you're retraining. Every time they come in, you're retraining. And so, even with the situation with COVID, the way our office is staffed right now, if one person got sick, everything falls on that other person. So we've seen changes this year, and we've met those. We've met the challenges. In July, our election was, I looked at some of the statistics today, and although it was a small election, considered a small election, almost half of the voters who voted in our office. That's a lot. And we increased from 600 mail ballots to close to 1,700. All those had to be put in manually to begin with. Now it's in an automatic rollover. But we're going to be preparing already. We have 1,700 requests for the presidential. And we're expecting a lot more between now and the deadline to request ballots. So I hope you will consider that. We work very hard, I have to say. And we do it because we love what we do, and we love serving the people. I'll be glad to answer any questions.
Mr. President, may I ask a question? In your letter, put an additional employee will allow you all to increase voter outreach.
Yes, sir.
What would that entail?
Well, right now, of course, this year we haven't been able to do as much voter outreach because of COVID-19. And we just finished doing a voter drive last week. A part-time person went with me, and we were invited to do a voter drive with Louisiana Tech football team. And that went extremely well. They were very prepared. This year, we've been limited for voter outreach. I hope to be more aggressive next year. I hope that we will be able to do some video training of preparing absentee ballots. We see problems with that in every election. Some people just don't understand what's needed in voting those ballots. And the state has developed a video that we can use to do training. And we're usually invited to the campus to do voter drives. Last year we were able to go to the Greenland State University cafeteria and did voter drives. This year we haven't had that because they've been gone. But hopefully that we can come up, the Lincoln Parish Library, I think her name is Mrs. Richard, has invited us to come and do more presentations. Every year I have come to the library with a demonstration of the voting machine. And
have done that, and especially for the children, when they come to vote, they want to vote, but they can't touch the machines. They like to watch their parents, so I've always brought a machine here, and if they want to vote, demo, then they can do that. But those are some of the things that I hope we can do. A third person, there would always be someone there at the office to keep the office open, while the other two could go out and do more of the voter drives. And,
So
outreach.
you're the third person, you're the two people now, with Sept and one other one?
Yes, sir. Registrar and chief deputy positions are available, are the two positions in our office.
So when you all are out, the office is closed?
Well,
Per se.
we don't close, we try not to close the office at all. If we have to, we always post a note. But, if we walk across the hall, we post a note,
But a third person would prevent that altogether.
yes, there would be someone in the office at all times and keep the office open while we can do more. So those are the reasons, and also some of the changes you see in my budget are due to increased office supplies that are necessary, and it won't change for the future. It'll always be the same. It's necessary to meet the demands of this year.
Ms. Sharon, you said y'all are like 1,700 mail-in ballots so far for the presidential question. What's a typical presidential mail-in year?
Well, because it never changes, it went, the cutoff is 600.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And,
So that's a typical year, 600.
yeah.
And right now you're at 700.
The 60, well, I say it never changes. The 65 and over program, which is what the majority of these are, remain the same. Some people decide they don't want to participate in that and they'll withdraw, but that's very, very few. Another change we've seen this year is before, if someone did not have a witness to their signature, or if they tore the flap off of the ballot and put it inside of the envelope, before the board Parish Board election supervisors could not open that. And there wasn't anything we could do. But this year, because of the emergency rule that was passed because of COVID, we were instructed to mail or call any person who may have turned in a ballot that was incorrect. I said the envelope. And so I know for the last election we had, I think there were 75 of those that were handled for the last. And that was, proposition elections are always considered small elections, So for me, that sounded, to me that was a lot. We called, we wrote letters, and also, a lot of people, would hand deliver, and sometimes we would go to the car and pick it up and help them, take care of what they needed to take care of. So, we're just seeing changes all the time. The emergency rule for November the 3rd is under discussion right now. The changes, we increased from 7 days to 13 days for early voting. In November, there's a possibility of increasing from 7 to 10 days. I don't know that for sure. And the hours may increase. So,
And this is a match with the state, correct? So our portion is being matched, is it 50-50 or 60-40?
well, for confidential assistance, it's 50-50.
50-50, okay.
And then up to the 21,000.
Okay.
The 21,000 covers the police service portion. And then if there are any increases in the future, or benefits or anything like that, then the state covers that.
So So would we have any additional retirement obligations with this employee, or would that strictly be
Yeah,
the
that's,
Secretary of State's
from
office?
what I understand, it would remain 21,000. It has remained that for the registrar and the chief deputy over the years, so.
Thank you so much.
All right, Lincoln Parish Coroner. Oh, he'd be last.
Chris, comments on that? This is the standard amount we have awarded their office each year for their costs, and these are mandatory costs. So,
Lincoln Parish DA office.
Good evening.
Good evening. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm Laurie Wood James. I'm the first assistant of the district attorney's office here. And first, please let me echo my appreciation and the appreciation of the people I work with for the excellent security in the courthouse. I don't know how often you hear some of the stories, but we have had some victims come up and see us, and they were nervous that someone may have followed them or someone may be able to get to them there. And the lady expressed to me just how much it meant, when she saw the security service downstairs, the deputies there, and the work they were doing. So these are real lives that are being impacted by that. And not just those of us who work there, but some of them are citizens at large also. We are requesting the same amount for the district attorney's office that we have requested at least for the last 6 years. It is $244,660. We are not requesting an increase at all, and I'm pleased about that. We do expect we will have some lost revenue due to COVID, but we're in the same boat that everybody else is, and we're going to attempt to handle that internally with some of the surplus that we do have, and additionally by cutting back on some of our expenditures. And I'm happy to answer any questions if anybody has any specific questions about that.
Mr. Chairman, I want to say we are very proud of the way you all operate at the district attorney's office in times past. That's not always been the case. Y'all have done a great job managing the resources. Thank you.
Well, I sure appreciate that. Thank you, Mr. Russell. And any additional questions? If you think of any later, please just don't hesitate to let me know. Thank you.
Thank you.
And last one under general fund is Trailblazers. You want to go ahead and speak?
If anyone has any questions about Trailblazers, I'll try to answer them. Police juries have been heavily involved in Trailblazers, starting from Boulder Parish all the way across the I-20 corridor. And actually, Lincoln Parish hadn't been as involved but as the last couple of years it have been. We're very thankful for that. It's a volunteer organization that Elsie Summon is the one that runs it. And no one works any harder at this than what Elsie does. He puts on a lot of outstanding programs, does his best to get the publicity out for different seminars. Educational seminars is what they are, to help the people in the parish. So a lot of good things come out of that. We try to get as much publicity out as possible, but Trailblazers is an outstanding organization. So anyway, if anybody got any questions about
I want to echo that. Trailblazers serves rural Lincoln Parish in a really good way to help people in the parish.
All right. Next item under B, other funds. We're going to start with Keep Lincoln Parish Beautiful.
I'll speak again briefly to
Roll call.
He's going down.
Okay. Keep America Beautiful.
Yes, so Keep Lincoln Parish Beautiful, I represent that organization as well. We are an affiliate of Keep America Beautiful and Keep Louisiana Beautiful. Of course, anything we've done since March of 2020 has been social distancing style, but I am excited. I don't know that we were able to report on this earlier, but in 2020, of course, we did our retreat event where we partnered with Retreat Organization. We planted 171 trees within the parish. That was an effort to replace some of our lost tree canopy from the tornado in 2019. That was huge. And that was not just a Keep Lincoln Parish thing, that was multiple organizations that joined together. But because of our affiliation with Keep America Beautiful, we were also able to bring in some additional funds for that event. We are looking to partner with communities to try and do a consistent quarterly cleanup, as long as we have to do social distancing efforts, but that is something we're talking right now about putting in place. We appreciate the support. Again, our goal is to maintain the community and keep it safe, healthy, and beautiful for all of our residents and visitors, and we appreciate your support.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, 4 Paws.
We're going to request the same amount as we did last year. The money that we received thankfully pays our shelter manager and 4 student volunteers. Our annual operating expenses are $145,000, which we have to come up with on our own. We rely solely on donations and fundraisers. As I said last year, we have plans, and I'm so excited to be able to tell you that we are opening an off-leash dog park next month. We decided to use our building fund. We saved for 15 years and have $110,000. We started looking at the prices of building a building, and it wasn't going to work. So we're using this money to build a dog park, which will generate funds. The population of Lincoln Parish is almost 47,000. We will have an acre fenced in for large dogs and a half-acre fenced in for small dogs. We will have hiking trails, picnic tables, benches, water stations, bathing stations, poop stations, waste stations. I've visited all over the United States, looking at everywhere. When I go to a city, I go to the dog park. So we're going to have all of this using our money that we save for the building, because frankly, we need some sustainable income. So we really appreciate your help. You did the driveway for us. Oh, can I show some pictures to y'all?
Quickly.
Okay. We have had many calls from the community, and people are already having memberships. I'll start, where do I need to start? Pass around. So we cleared the land. We were very fortunate. We do service hours for people who need service hours. We had a gentleman that needed 200 hours, and he cleared the land for us at no cost. So we're planning to have this very professional. We are offering $50 a year annual memberships for families. There is no limit to dogs, and there's no breed discrimination. We're also going to have drop-ins daily at $5 a day. I know it sounds like that's not a lot of money, but believe me, people are already driving up saying, is the park open? So we're getting the fencing done next week, and all we're asking is that you can continue to give us what you've been giving us the last few years. It would be most appreciated.
Mr. Chairman, you have dogs and cats, or just dogs?
Just dogs.
All right, and how many dogs?
Right now we have 60.
60.
We took in 398 last year, and we adopted 348.
Goodness.
Yeah. And we are also involved in transports up north. We sent 16 dogs last week to Pennsylvania. 2 ladies from Pennsylvania actually drove their van down and took 16 of our dogs. So we're really taking in more dogs and transporting them out. So we think the park is going to be, it's really beautiful. As you see, it's got a pond, it has walking trails. We're going to have picnic tables, benches. It's also going to be used for the sororities are already wanting to use it for various events. Birthday parties, believe it or not, people have birthday parties for their dogs. And so we've got all kinds of community activities planned. Frankly, we had to come up with some way to stay open. And we're hoping that's going to be it, and we're hoping we get the money that we've gotten before.
How many animals have you taken in year to date?
We took in 398 last year, and that's almost a dog, well, it's over a dog a day. And we adopted out 348. So we
Thank you very
appreciate it, and we thank you for your help, and we hope you enjoy the pictures. Are they being passed around? Okay. Okay. Because I want to take them back.
We'll get them to you.
Yep. Thank you very much.
Okay.
All right, Northeast Delta Human Services Authority.
Hey, good evening, folks. I'm Mike Shipp. I'm chairman of the board of Northeast Delta. So just wanted to, first of all, thank you for, on behalf of the board, for all the support you've given us over the past several years. Just a couple of things that we have done in the past couple of years. We provided crisis response training to your law enforcement folks here in the parish, both from the sheriff and the municipal police departments. Free of charge for that. We placed a drug take-back box at the Grambling Police Station. We provided Narcan kits to first responders and folks like that in the parish. So, and one thing I want to point out that I'm very proud to tell my board and the folks that represent other parishes, Lincoln Parish is the only one that out of the 12 parishes that we serve that has given us financial support. So that's one of the reasons why I can go to our executive director and push for some of the things that we've been able to do here in the parish. So, do you have any questions or anything like that?
Thank you, Mike.
That's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you.
Lincoln Parish Health Unit.
Hi, I am Suzanne Rockwelder. I'm the program manager at the Lincoln Parish Health Unit and the Warsaw Parish Health Unit. Our administrator is Jeff Toms. He couldn't be here tonight. He had another meeting in Monroe, so I recruited Alan Hanna to come in case you had questions I could answer. We are requesting to continue with the same budget for the maintenance and the upkeep on the building and the property. We appreciate everything that you've done for us. Any questions?
Y'all have it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, the last one, teach one to lead one. Anything on? I don't see the.
No, I think you're supposed to be here.
Question.
Go ahead.
Teach one to lead one, is that a program through the public schools of Lincoln Parish?
I can speak to it for a moment if you'd like for me to.
Sure. I'd like to know more about it. What do you do?
With full transparency, I sit on their board of directors, so I just want to tell you that right now. It is a mentoring program for at-risk youth that serves students in several different parishes across the state, mainly in North Louisiana, some in South Louisiana. But it pairs students from at-risk communities with mentors who work with them on some curriculum that directs them through some character type programming and has proven to be very successful in helping them to maintain a good course in their lives. Let's just put it that way.
The funding, if funded through the police bureau, does that go to Lincoln Parish?
I don't know what's in their proposal. I have to look. I'm to tell you the truth. I don't know what they proposed.
Or, as long as we find out before next month.
Sure.
Yeah.
It says Lincoln Parish Schools.
I do know that they have programs at several, at least at Cypress Springs Elementary and at Ruston Junior High. Yeah, so I have a feeling that this money would be used for the Lincoln Parish programs.
This is the first year we had this.
This is the first year they've made a request, yes.
Made a request.
Yes.
All right, that concluded item 4. On to item 5. Is any other business to discuss?
No, we need to vote to accept these for review.
Okay. May I have a motion to accept these for review from all these kind of folks?
I make that motion that we accept these applicants for review.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? So moved. No other business? Meeting adjourned.